We are the Future Blue Youth Council. We are 14 youths from many different countries and continents. We have a lot of dedicated people here, and we want to inspire change. And this program was designed to introduce young people to grants and toolkits and just inspire young people from the ages of 13 to 19 to found their own initiatives and encourage them to share their voices and to make a difference in our world. And climate change is one of the big struggles that we're facing, and we want you to do your best to help the world and make it a better place. And it is our job now to make sure that you have the tools that'll help you do that.
So you know that we at Future Blue sincerely hope to inspire youth around the world to take action for their environment and utilize the power we each hold as young people. So the best way we hope to get you guys involved in your communities is to do the FBYC Fellowship Program. The fellowship offers young people aged 13 to 19 the opportunity to get fiscal and educational support for projects that advocate for their local waterways. This means uplifting teenagers who have ideas on how to maybe educate their communities, or maybe have a potential solution to littering and pollution in their area, or really any other idea that could have a positive impact on their local communities. We hope to help all of your local oceans, rivers, bays, and seas in the ongoing climate crisis from the ground up, meaning from you guys to actually make a difference in your local communities. Our favorite way to describe this opportunity is that it's an incubator, because we aim to take in new and developing projects and help them mature into effective programs that can really make an impact on your local communities, as I keep saying. We are offering educational content, such as toolkits and office hours on how to start up a groundbreaking project to everyone who can possibly want it. And then in addition, a select number of determined groups will earn a grant where you not only get the money you need to help get your project off the ground and into action, as well as we're offering mentorship from the individuals on the FBYC to ensure you get personalized support and everything that you could possibly need to help get your projects off the ground, to help start making change in your communities. We young people have the power to change the world, and we sincerely hope that the fellowship is just one way that youth can confidently and successfully be the change they want to see in their communities.
I am really excited about the Future Blue Youth Council Fellowship because it is an opportunity for dozens of young people like myself who are passionate about the environment but do not have the adequate resources to fully exploit their ideas and put them into play, to be able to express their ideas without having any limitations such as lack of financial resources or basically the know-how of how to handle such projects. So this fellowship is the gateway for them to be able to express and carry out what they are passionate about through projects that will create lasting environmental change.
So I'm excited for this fellowship because there is a real lack of resources for young people to both dream and execute their projects. This fellowship gives young people the space to begin thinking and for that thinking to be realized. What distinguishes the Future Blue Fellowship from other opportunities and resources for young people is that it was created by young people, and moreover, this project is going to be carried out by young people, which has a level of care and knowing that a lot of adult created opportunities for young people don't.
So now you've heard from us, what is basically the Future Blue Youth Council? What are we trying to do? But who are we as the council? Well, hi, my name is Rose Whelan. My pronouns are they, them, and I come from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, USA. I've been working in Bauxite doing the Ocean Awareness Contest since 2016 when I was about 12 years old. And I've kind of grown as an artist, as a creator, and as an activist through this program. So I'm very excited to be here on the council in order to help other people kind of learn the way that I did through Bauxite opportunities and through, fiscal support in their communities. And let's look at the rest of the council. So Jude, how about you go?
Hey y'all, my name is Jude Strelitz-Block. I'm 17 from Austin, Texas. My pronouns are he, him. And even though I live deep in the heart of Texas and I was born and raised here, I've always been interested in, climate science and especially ocean awareness, disaster preparedness, and the rising sea levels and all that kind of stuff. And I've just always been interested in it as I've been going to the beach every summer for my whole life. And I'm so happy to be a part of the Blue Youth Council, and I'm super excited to get started with this grant. And I'm really excited. So I'm going to pass it on to Raul.
Yeah, so hi, my name is Raul Falcon Vargas, and I'm from San Juan, Puerto Rico. And so I entered the Bauxite Ocean Awareness Video Contest, the film section, in 2019 and 2020, and I've always been trying to develop and polish my own artistic style. And so this competition gave me the opportunity to do so. And so I'm really grateful. And I also really love the opportunities the council is giving us because we're making this really cool program that will offer more opportunities for more people and help solve the climate crisis and all these sort of issues due to climate change and like ocean acidification, rising sea levels, etc. So I'll pass it on to you, Tom.
Hi, my name is Yutong Yang, and I am from Shenzhen, China, which is a beautiful seaside city. And I love traveling and also anything that's concerned with culture. So I was so excited to find out about the Ocean Awareness Contest and to enter for the poetry and also essay sections, because I think that this is like the first chance that I've ever got to address some social issues and environmental protection issues through my own art. And I really cherish this opportunity and also working with your wonderful council members. And right now I'm working on trying to introduce this wonderful program to students in China. I'll pass it on to Jasmine.
Hi, I'm Jasmine Rodman, and I'm from Vancouver Island, which is a small island off the west coast of Canada, just above Washington State. I'm 17, and I use she, her pronouns. So I entered the 2020 Ocean Awareness Contest back last spring, and then from that I found out about the Youth Council, and I'm having the best time creating a grant program with you all. So I'm going to pass it off to Sophia.
Hi, I'm Sophia LaPalm. I'm 17 and I'm from Loxley, Alabama, which is right by Mobile. So I have the wonderful opportunity of living right next to one of the world's richest estuaries, and that has really influenced me. And I've been entering Bauxite's Ocean Awareness Contest since 6th grade. And I've just been really fortunate to grow up in this little bubble of just ocean awareness and creativity, and it's really influenced my work. And I'm super excited to be here, and I've already learned a lot about how to make a change. And this has been one of the most influential parts of my life, and this has really shaped my goals. And I'm just really excited to see where this goes and how many people we can reach with this. And I'm going to pass the mic to Ashley.
Hi everyone, my name is Ashley. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm from New Jersey in the United States of America. And I participated in numerous ocean awareness programs and submitted my artwork. And I also participated in the creative advocacy contest. And most recently, I was a campaign ambassador for the Bauxite Voteless Not Voiceless campaign, where I served to engage and amplify youth voices that were fighting for a climate conscious president in the 2020 election. And I'm really excited to be on the council and guide other passionate youth around the world to launch their environmental ideas and initiatives. And I'll pass the mic on to Sarah.
Hi, I'm Sarah. I'm 17 years old and I'm from Waterloo, Ontario, Canada. I found out about Bauxite when I participated in the Ocean Awareness Art Contest back in 2020 for visual art. But prior to finding out about Bauxite, I didn't really have that much experience with environmental related initiatives beyond like volunteering at park cleanups and stuff like that. But after participating in the art contest, as well as coming across more information about specific issues such as e-waste, I started to look for more opportunities to get involved. And that's why I joined the Future Blue Youth Council. As someone inexperienced yet passionate, I wanted to join a platform that would help me bring action to those issues and encourage others to do the same. So now I'll pass it off to Anjali.
Hi everyone, I'm Anjali from Lucknow, India. I'm 17 years old and I use the pronouns she, her. I've been a part of BowSeed for about a year, ever since I came to know about their ocean awareness contest, which had the theme of water rising. And that was very inspiring to me because I think that all of us are connected through water. Like, we all have our own stories concerning water, and there is a lot that we can learn to protect this natural resource. We have to work together as a community. So I'm really excited to be a part of this council and work with a lot of really dynamic people who inspire me every day to do my part in helping to save the world. I'll pass it on to Sylvia.
Hi everyone, my name is Sylvia Nica. I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio, age 19. I use she, her pronouns. I've been involved with BowSeat since middle school when I first entered the Ocean Awareness Contest, and it's what really introduced me to the nonprofit space and sort of taught me how to use something that I'm passionate about, writing, to advocate for environmental change. I'm really hoping the fellowship does the same thing for everybody who's entering, gives people a voice to support their local communities and advocate for the environment. So very excited, and I'll pass it on to Ewan.
Hi, my name is Ewan Wong and I'm from Christchurch, New Zealand. My connection with BowSeat has primarily been through poetry, and in high school I competed in the Ocean Awareness Contest and the Marine Debris Ocean Advocacy Competition, the latter through which I led a project very similar to the ones we are looking for through the fellowship. Now, as a BowSeat alumnus, I have since represented the organisation in a number of virtual webinars and conferences. I'll pass it off to Sakai.
So hi guys, I'm Sakai from Zimbabwe, which is in Africa. I first came across the BowSeat organization in 2019 when I was doing some research for one of my classes, and I was really fascinated by the work that the organization is doing and advocating for our oceans, even though I technically could not relate in a way because Zimbabwe is a landlocked country. So I always kept updated on what they were doing, getting all caught up, and in 2020 I participated in their competition, which made me applicable to apply to be a member of the council, and I am enjoying every second of it. So I'll pass it off to Akila.
Hi, my name is Akila Banlora, and I'm from Phoenix, Arizona. And I've been involved with BowSeat for a really, really long time, but I started out as a participant in their ocean awareness competition. And then last summer, I was their summer intern, and now I'm on the council. So in short, I just have a lot of love for BowSeat. And I'm going to pass it off to Ainsley.
Hi, my name is Ainsley. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm from New York in the USA. And I've been involved in the BowSeat since 8th grade when I submitted my very first entry to the annual Ocean Awareness Contest. And personally, I've found that being a part of BowSeat's programming has really pushed me to try new things. And so I've been able to participate in the film, art, and poetry categories over the last several years in the Ocean Awareness Contest. And of course, creating artwork and writing for BowSeat has been such an amazing experience. And I'm so excited that I get to continue that involvement now as a part of the Future Blue Youth Council.
All right, so now we know, what we are as the Future Blue Youth Council. We're an international group of teenagers aged 16 to 19, trying to help make a difference around the world. You know what we're trying to do, you know about our fellowship program, and now you know all of our names and where we come from. But we want to really introduce ourselves to you, and we want you to really know who is behind the camera and who is behind, all of the paperwork and stuff. So we have a few questions. We want to have a little bit of a discussion to show you guys kind of what we think about the ongoing state of the world and, kind of see what's going on inside our heads, because we are teenagers, just like hopefully a lot of you. So I want to ask, hey, Future Blue, who or what inspires you most creatively?
I love that question. For me, it is so many things. It's never one thing. Often it's nature. I'm lucky enough to live surrounded by the ocean, so that's pretty frequently and consistently the best thing. But also everyone's art on the council, looking through the Bausi gallery when I'm looking for inspiration is one of my favorite things to do. And it often leads to fantastic ideas.
So I'm really inspired primarily from National Geographic because I grew up reading that magazine. My grandfather always gave it to me because he read it. And so the graphic design, the fonts, the layout, the shapes they use, the sort of colors, I really was very inspired by that. And so then I entered a club in my school that made it possible to make and design a magazine. So I took that inspiration from National Geographic and slowly began developing my own style. So at first you really have to like emulate some other person's style, but then you gradually develop your own style. And so with the advent of sort of Photoshop, learning Photoshop, and then the advent of parallaxes, effects, flat icons, and vibrant gradients, you really have a lot of opportunities for creative development. And so I recommend that if you have any sort of opportunity to join a club that sort of polishes your graphic design skills or film or poetry or other discipline, and you should definitely join it. And you can apply those principles to different disciplines. For instance, I applied those magazine principles to film, and I was able to create some really interesting films. Also, stop motion animation has always inspired me in sort of creating my personal set of art. And I typically use Pinterest or other artists. Like here in the back, you have Basquiat. I'm a really big fan of Basquiat. And so you slowly develop your own artistic taste and sort of artistic vision of what you want to communicate, and you express that, and that reflects onto your art.
Yeah, and I think, like Raul said, a lot of people find inspiration and develop their artistic styles by looking up to large organizations like National Geographic, and also looking up to famous artists and figures that we respect. But I also think that we can find inspiration and motivation to continue creating our artwork in our everyday lives, and just the people that we have everyday experiences with. So for example, I know a retired kindergarten teacher, and she is so passionate, and she taught 5-year-olds about the origin of their food and introduced them to the problem of toxic pesticides in New York City. And after this, they grew up as 7th graders now, and they are fighting and passed a law that banned these toxic pesticides. And these types of stories of just everyday people really inspires me to continue, because when you communicate with these young children, you realize what kind of impact you can have on them. And that really inspires me to continue creating my art and sharing it to the children in my community.
Yeah, I definitely agree with Ashley that people in our own lives can also motivate us so much. For example, I go to a science magnet school, but I'm blessed to have a really great AP Lit teacher, and he's like my mentor. So he's also teaching me about how to appreciate poetry, and also looking at my essays all the time. And I would like to say thanks to him here. And also, I feel inspired by your wonderful council members and my writing community, which is always just so supportive to me. And also, I'm really motivated and inspired by a lot of activists. For example, the late Sarah Hegazi, who was who was like taken into police custody in Cairo because she flew the rainbow flag at a concert, and she was then her picture, which was amazing, like she was rising to the air like a dolphin or a butterfly, just got seen on the internet, and the police just went to her. So she was horribly mistreated and abused, and she later went to Canada, but she still died because of it. So these kinds of activists always make me ask myself the question, like, how are they so how are they so fearless? How are they always pushing for social agendas, even at the risk of their own lives? So this is also something that inspires my art and makes me so passionate about it.
I love that. I know activists are such a great place to get inspiration when you're trying to do art that sends that message. I also think it's super interesting how even though many of us have different mediums, whether we're visual artists or writers or videographers, anything, how, like for me, I mostly do visual art, but I find that often I'm most inspired by things like science writing or videos or anything because it takes away the barrier of kind of comparison and instead you can just get inspired by it. So I love what you guys are saying about teachers and activists. It's always, and I'm always looking for new places for inspiration. So I'm sure I'll be looking at many of these sources later on today.
Yeah, definitely. I really think that people around your life can always be very influential and they can sort of inspire you to create work and motivate you. Some can even serve as mentors. For instance, my art school teacher, he really served as my mentor, and I sort of always asked for feedback. And from my family members, you can always get feedback from them and sort of iterate your sort of film, art, or poetry or whatever your whatever medium you're trying to go for. You can always get feedback from them and be inspired by them as well.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I also find inspiration from social media content creators because social media is a place where information and art can be really accessible to a lot of different people and it can be shared very widespread. And it's a great way to introduce environmental issues using artwork and other medium to people who maybe aren't involved in activism yet and or can start their activism through social media.
Yeah, I think that this is definitely a good point. And I also feel a lot inspired by all kinds of natural, like plants or flowers, because we have so many idioms across cultures that deal with these natural creatures and beautiful plants. Like they're around us all the time, and although they can give us feedback like human beings, they're still really beautiful to watch, and they teach us a lot about life in general.
Awesome. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I'm feeling very inspired by some of these inspiration sources for the Future Blue Youth Council. So moving swiftly onward, hey Future Blue, you're very concerned about ocean advocacy and making sure that we're speaking up for our local waterways. What does water advocacy mean to you guys? And, what do you do for your ocean advocacy?
For me, water conservation and advocacy is not just important because I want to play a role in the water crisis, but also just because it's kind of a avenue to get to know and get involved and, meet more people in this line of work, and, build more equitable communities. And it also I realized that it fuels my creativity in a way. And in addition to serving on the Blue Youth Council, I'm also on my public school district's environmental action committee, where we get to work with leaders from around the city, and we get to work with them and talk to them about how we can make the climate crisis, we can work with it and improve on Austin's transportation system or anything like that helps with that. And like many young people around the world, I'm just actively searching for ways to make a difference and to be a steward of the environment, so to speak.
That's very well said, Jude. I think that water conservation advocacy, it's so important because, conversation, we need to have that conversation. And we need to recruit as many people as possible to help the environment because it's not going to help itself. And we've seen many governments try and just make it such a political issue. And it's our job, because we are going to be in charge so soon, it's our job to say, no, this isn't politics. This is a way of life. This is something that we need to fix right now. And advocacy is just a way to, get more people involved. And it's just so important, because if we don't do it, who's going to do it? I mean, we can't just wait so long for other people to do things when we need to do them ourselves.
Definitely, Sophia. I think that involving the youth in such programs is really important, because it's ultimately us who will be left with the polluted water resources and the diminishing water supplies. And while I was living in rural India, I firsthand witnessed the amount of pollution that can have such a bad effect on the people as well as the animals that are living in that area. I saw dogs and cows that got sick after drinking that water, which had industrial effluents in it. And I just thought that I'm just one person. I can't possibly imagine to make a difference. It's such a huge thing that all the factories and industries they are using their chemicals into the rivers. But after collaborating with other people in my area, I realized that yes, I can make a difference, and it's up to me to make a difference, because if I don't do it, then who will?
Yeah, that's a great point. You know, that it is up to us as young people to do something and make a difference, because, you know, nobody else will. And they kind of, you know, it's just up to young people, and we're going to be the only ones left. So we have to do something.
I mean, that's why we want y'all to do your best and to come up with projects and to prove that young people, well, we aren't in charge right now, we will be eventually, and we are taking the torch, we're ready, we're preparing. And we may not have as many years of experience as everyone else, but we are still dedicated and passionate people, and that's what's going to propel us forward, help us overcome all of these challenges.
Awesome. Well, we now know kind of what water advocacy means for the Future Blue Youth Council. And for many of us, it means, you know, youth involvement and in getting your youth communities and young people to actually stand up and take action for our environments. So, hey, Future Blue, what are your experiences in youth communities? If you're seeing all of this, you know, inspiration and seeing all of this advocacy coming from young people, where do we see it?
Yeah, so I've been involved with the local youth council Interline since my sophomore year of high school, and I've generally just had an overwhelmingly positive experience with youth councils. There's just kind of something special about working with a group of your peers who are all just really passionate and really smart. And when you're working on a challenging project, it ends up not even feeling like work. I've seen that reflected in the Future Blue Youth Council. It's also taught me that you can't really put a limit on what high school students or teenagers can do. They can just do absolutely incredible things if they're given the funding, if they're given the support, if they're given the resources. So that's kind of the hope for the fellowship program, actually, with the mentorship and funding, is to give high school students and teenagers that support so that there isn't that limit to helping the environment and just doing incredible things.
I know that I come from Philadelphia, I come from a very big city, and often, you know, there's a long history of young communities being the catalyst for change where I come from. So especially I grew up my teen years spent in this very liberal, very political environment. We even learned our African American history course. This is one of the things that were required in order to pass for graduation. It was initiated because groups of young people walked out of the building and said, hey, we want an equitable environment for Black students. We want to have, you know, not just white history. We want African American history to be taught in our classes. We want to have, you know, environments that we feel comfortable taking the next generation into. And I'm seeing this in the modern era too. You know, many of my peers, many people in my school are initiating protests for Asian American Pacific Islander violence. They're initiating protests. I've gone to climate marches, you know, very big in Philadelphia. My city, my young community, I'm very proud to say, are people who want to see change and people who want to, you know, make the world better. And especially, you know, we've all survived in America the Trump presidency. So there's a lot more of a push for young people to be changing the world around them. So this is my experience.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely agree that there's so much power that we as youth have to take action on those issues that are important to us. For example, like in my case, I grew up and still growing up suffering from discrimination because of my identity as a Muslim woman. And growing up with that experience made me understand how important spaces where people can feel confident that they'll not be exposed to discrimination, criticism, or any form of emotional harm are. And so this motivated me to create Muslim Artists for Justice, or MAJ for short, which started this past December. And so with Maj, I made a youth-led initiative that encourages young Muslim artists to share their opinions and bring awareness to social issues that affect our community. And so every month we highlight a different social issue and give Muslim youth the opportunity to submit art along with reflections to showcase their voices. And so we send these as art submissions to community leaders and organizations in hopes of in hopes of generating discussion and change. And so since launch, we've gained over 280 Instagram followers and received 16 art submissions from Muslim youth, not only in my community, but also from places like the United Kingdom, Jordan, and Yemen. And so starting this initiative and seeing its impact really allowed me to recognize the power of innovation and putting action to your ideas. And so this idea that started in my bedroom in the middle of a pandemic was somehow able to reach people across the globe because of how passionate I was about it. And it gave me the confidence to take on other issues that are important to me, whether it be climate change or social justice. And that's one of the reasons why I'm so excited for the Future Blue Youth Fellowship Program, because there's so much power in innovation, and it's really valuable to have a program that not only encourages youth to take those approaches, those entrepreneurial approaches to solve those real problems that they're passionate about, but also gives them the resources to help them achieve that dream.
Awesome. So what are our hopes and goals for the council? What is this going to look like, or for the grant program, sorry, what is this going to look like? What are we excited about? I know for me, I'm super excited about how it's going to act like an incubator. I think by combining the toolkits, the webinars, the mentorship, and the funding, it'll just speed up the growth of all of these programs. And even though I haven't seen any of the projects yet or met anyone who's going to apply, I'm so proud of what we've done and what everyone is going to do soon as well.
Yeah, I'm super excited to, meet so many new people from like applying to the grant, and just to like from all around the world. And I'm excited to just provide, an opportunity for young people, age 13 and 19 to, be able to not only get the grant, which is a part of this fellowship, but also, really valuable mentorship, you know, and the ability to gain the ability to make an impact, which is, I think, is super important.
Yeah.
Especially right now, our environment, our land, and our oceans are facing so many challenges. And it's amazing to see how young people are rising up around the world in all of your stories, just talking about it, but even beyond, of course, the Future Blue Youth Council. There's so many youth working so hard, creating environmental projects, campaigns, and programs in their communities and schools. And we really want to support that with our program in the future.
Personally, being a part of the BAUSEATS programs has really allowed me to develop my own voice and has allowed me to become increasingly more able to use art and film as tools for advocacy, to persuade, and to change people's minds. And so I'm so excited to see the kinds of projects we receive this year for the grant program, because I believe it will be a chance for young people from all around the world to use their voices and develop their own creative initiatives. And it's such a great honor to be a part of this council and to be able to back these projects both financially and through mentorship, because I think youth voices, especially in discussions around climate, are often not really heard. And so to be a part of a council working to amplify the work of young activists, it really makes me truly very excited.
I know I'm so excited for the fellowship to become a catalyst for change. This is a place to foster creativity and productivity, and I really can't wait to see what you future grantees come up with. I think we really have the opportunity to create something meaningful in individual local environments. So this is a very exciting opportunity.
I know, right? I'm so excited about this because I think that this is not just a place where we give them grants and we don't provide any mentorship. We are giving them guidance, we are giving them resources, and we're just promoting an all-round development of projects from all over the world. And I'm totally psyched about it.
I totally can't wait. I mean, this is going to be amazing. I mean, we are making a classroom setting for all of these people where they might not get this type of instruction at their schools. And we are going to make some very meaningful change. And I just can't wait to see what happens. And I'm so, so excited.
And for youth that have never done something like this before, starting your own campaign, program, or even a project can sound really intimidating, and it can be, but you don't have to do that. You don't have to feel that experience alone. So the Future Blue Youth Council has been working hard behind the scenes to compile materials and resources to make your journey as an environmental advocate as easy as possible. On our website, we have toolkits covering topics such as project initiation, graphic design, and fundraising. We'll also be hosting office hours, webinars, and networking events so that you can connect with us and others like you who are passionate about change and want to make a difference. Ultimately, we want to create a global network of youth-led projects where we can offer support, uplift our fellow peers, and create a meaningful impact for a healthier planet. Applications for the fellowship open on May 15th and will close on August 1st. For more information on the application process, including rules and eligibility, be sure to visit bowseat.org. If you have any questions, feel free to email us or check out our Instagram account at Future Blue Youth Council. We're so beyond excited for what's to come, and we can't wait to hear from you and support your ideas.